Hi, I'm Janice Banther, and today we're going to be talking about breastfeeding, how to teach it in our childbirth classes and to a labor doula client. We know how to teach how to hold the baby, the best way the baby's head should be held, the good latch you should have for the baby, how you hold your breast. We know all those things, and sometimes we don't add those things in our classes about the benefits of breastfeeding or those things you should be careful about what you're doing while you're breastfeeding. So I went to someone who knows a lot more about breastfeeding than me. Her name is Laurel Wilson. She's an IBCLC, also a great friend of mine, and I really respect her a lot because of the education she's had and how she teaches women. And she's also co-written a book, The Greatest Pregnancy Ever, and it's just a wonderful teacher. So I got all this information from her because she has it better than I do, so I thought I'd pass it along to you. So I really appreciate you, Laurel, you give me this information. And a lot of people do this. They have a grab bag, and Laurel suggested this too. So I have a bag here, a recycling bag. And I have things in here that you can pull out, or else you can take it around the room and have them pull it out. First one's an easy one. Now you want to add a lot more about what you say to these things, about these things than I am, because you already have some of this knowledge. They won't. So you want to use these objects to get the point across and just add a lot more than what I'm saying. First one's a heart. This is a real easy one. The bonding process between a mom and a baby. That skin-to-skin contact and that process, that bonding they have when it's just the two of them and they're feeding the baby. So have a heart in your bag. A water bottle representing that you need to stay hydrated, just like you do when you were pregnant. You need to stay very hydrated while you're breastfeeding, and discuss that. Another bottle, but one that should really try and stay away from while they're breastfeeding, as they did when they were pregnant. And this is a beer bottle. It's an empty one. And just talk about the importance of not drinking while they're breastfeeding. And if they do drink, what they should be doing to their breast milk in case they do. So have a beer bottle to represent that. This is always a good one. That's the money. How much money you save when you breastfeed, because it doesn't cost anything. The milk is already there. And you might want to use Monopoly money. I didn't have a Monopoly game to get the money out for, so these are real bills, and so you might want to use fake bills instead of just leaving this in there, because it's going to go right back in my purse as soon as this video is over. And you can talk about the money they save. One of the things that we do here at For Love of Birth about once a year, we figure out how much it costs to feed a baby for a full year on formula. It's concentrated, powder, and ready to eat. And it's in our book that we give them when we teach our childbirth classes. And when they see that, it's like, wow, they had no idea it was going to cost that much. And just sometimes that one thing alone, for the guy in the group, it can make them realize we really should breastfeed. And they're more into it when they see how much money they save. So have some money in there. The next one is a toothbrush. And the toothbrush represents that you have a lot less dental problems when you breastfeed than if you don't breastfeed. So this is a good thing to have, and you can look up the research on that to add more to when you're talking about why your toothbrush is in there. A medicine bottle. It could be a medicine bottle or a prescription bottle. And talking about the importance of how they should always check with their caregiver before they take any medication, over the counter or something prescribed to them by another doctor, and that may not know that they're breastfeeding, and they may have forgotten to tell the doctor they're breastfeeding. So they need to always talk to their OB and to their pediatrician also. They might have more information on this than the OB does about the kind of medication they're taking. KY jelly, a lubricant. This is a good thing to have to help them to know that they're going to have a lot of vaginal dryness when they're breastfeeding, so they might want to have some kind of KY jelly for when they have sex. Staying on that same subject, a condom. A condom representing about when they have sex, they need to start talking about what kind of birth control are they going to be using. And they may not need to talk to their care provider about what are the best things to use while breastfeeding. There is an old wives' tale, and some people think it's not an old wives' tale, that breastfeeding is a form of birth control. I know a lot of babies who were conceived when the mom was breastfeeding. I also know a lot of moms who breastfed a long time and never did get pregnant. So you can't always say it works all the time, just like I used to say these things don't work all the time either. But this is a good way of talking about breastfeeding, is to have a condom in your grab bag. The last one's kind of a silly one, but it's a cute one. That's a clothespin. People put clothespins on their noses when things smell bad. Well, a breastfeeding poopy diaper does not smell at all. And that, for some people, I know a woman that really was a selling point for her to breastfeed was the smell of the diapers, because she had such a horrible gag reflex. And the formula-fed babies had their diapers always smell so bad. So that was the one thing that kept her wanting to breastfeed her baby, was because of the smell of the diapers. It's funny what makes some people decide to do that. There were some other things that Laurel suggested that I didn't have to put in my bag. One was a measuring tape, and you can talk about the size of the breast. The breast is going to be changing as you start breastfeeding and get bigger and bigger. The other one is a marble. We used to have marbles here in the office. You don't know what happened to them. Can't find them anywhere. But the marble is the size of a baby's tummy when it's first born, a newborn. And so let them realize that there's not a lot of room in there for a lot of milk. That's why babies don't eat a lot when they're first born, because their tummy is so tiny. Another one you might want to add in there is a calorie counter chart or a paper. Talk about the importance of how many calories they should be taking in. Just like the word is important about how many calories they took in when they were pregnant, same thing is true when you're breastfeeding, how many calories you take in. I'm sure there's probably a lot more things that you can think of that you'd want to put in your bag, your grab bag for breastfeeding when teaching breastfeeding. So if you have other ideas, please share with everybody else. Put them in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear what you would have to add. If you want to email me or email Laurel, our email addresses will be down here at the bottom. Thank you for watching this, and I hope this helps you teach your next breastfeeding class. See you later. Bye-bye.